Good morning. Actually, I'm quite happy finally to be here, as last year I wasn't able to come. But maybe it's better, because now we have got 1 year more maturity and experience in our way on developing a PPP project in Latvia. How can we start? Yes. Starting with the comparison on paintings. I believe every painter at the beginning has to decide what he wants to paint, what kind of picture does he want to have. So the same goes for infrastructure. First of all, we need to define what kind of project we want to go away. Okay, so the question arises, why Kakava bypass? Why this particular road? Every morning when I'm waking up and having my breakfast at approximately 7 a.m., I'm switching on radio, and there are news on traffic jams in Riga. Actually, in Tallinn, you have to be quite happy, because you can get from airport to another part of the city in 15 minutes. In Riga, it's impossible. So, and usually in these traffic news, they are saying that there's a traffic jam on A7 coming from Lithuania, from Bauska into Riga. And the queue can reach up to 40 minutes. So people are spending big amount of time just sitting in a cars, polluting air, and so on. If we look on a map of Latvia, we can see that all our road network actually concentrates around city of Riga. And historically, our road network was built during Soviet times. And in these days, all the main traffic went to eastern side of Latvia or to western ports of Latvia. And the traffic in between Riga and Vilnius wasn't important at all. And that's why the only road going out of Riga, consisting of just 2 lanes, is the road leading to Via Baltica, further on to Vilnius and the rest of the Europe. Actually, still is having just 2 lanes. Instead of all the rest roads coming out of Riga, they are all 4-lane roads. And actually, this particular piece of Via Baltica is recognized also as a bottleneck of 10T corridor. So the first ideas, actually, that there is a need to solve the problem coming in and coming out of Riga in direction of Lithuania and Via Baltica. Actually, the first discussion secured already in 2006, when first drawings, first really initial sketch designs were made, and corridor for further development of this project was already implemented and included into territory plans of this particular territory. So the total technical data of the project, so the total length is 17.5 kilometers. Construction of new expressway is 14.4 kilometers, and 3 kilometers is reconstruction of existing roads. Out of these 17 kilometers, 11 will be 4-lane roads. Actually, 4 lanes will be going till Riga Ring Road, and then further on we are continuing with 2 lanes. And a part of these 17 kilometers, also 16 kilometers of parallel roads and connecting roads will be built. So when we have an idea of the picture we want to paint, we have to get the knowledge, or we have to understand how can we finance it. And of course, the easiest way and traditional way would be to finance as a traditional public procurement, that we are finding a construction company who is doing the work. So we are funding the project directly out of a state budget. But to understand actually why we have started this project as a PPP project, we have to understand how roads in Latvia had been financed during last 20 years. And actually, according to our calculations, unfortunately, there is a more than 600 million euros finance need for both maintenance and development of our road network. And actually, as such an amount has never been invested in our road network, annually we have reached already more than 4 billion financing deficit for all our roads. So the needs are really big. And that's the reality. So the total amount of funds which is available for our roads. So you can see that that since already 2008, since our famous financial catastrophe, I would say, the big part of investments in our road sector was done with the help of European investments, both cohesion and regional development funds investments. These investments has come to the end, so our administration is most probably the first one who has contracted and almost realized all European projects for this financing period. And we can see that already starting from 2018, our investments are decreasing. So the financial gap, which was is the gap which was fulfilled partially with the help of European investments, now stays actually empty, as the amount of budget is not sufficient for the moment. So we can see that actually for 2020 and 2021, in the terms of investments, will be almost at the level of 2009 and 2010. And believe me, these were not the best years for investments. That's why, actually, we came to the idea that if we want to do something, if we want to develop bigger projects than, I don't know, just simple rebuilding or reconstruction of existing road for about 10 to 20 million euros, then we need to look for alternatives. And alternatives are evident. PPP is nothing which is introduced in Latvia, not at all. So it is used, and especially it is used in road sector. So we saw that the PPP can be an alternative for the traditional methods of financing, and of course, especially taking into account the circumstances I explained before about possibilities of finding from directly out of state treasury. They are not sufficient, so we started to work on a PPP alternative. What is the process actually? And I believe there are the number of you who are interested how quick actually everything can be done and how fast can we go from the idea to the implementation, and is it easy? I'm afraid I don't have all the answers yet. But I'll try to go through all the decision-making process just to describe how it was and how it still is in our case, and whether is it easy. First serious debates on necessity finally to realize Ķekava bypass project actually started in 2014, when actually first time this particular project, as lawyers like to say, expressis verbis, was introduced into our declaration of newly formed cabinet of ministers. And honestly, since these days, we have changed 2 governments, and in all these declarations, the will and readiness to develop this project stays. So for populations and for society, it is important project. So first discussions started 2014, and on 12th of September, first initial idea was brought to Cabinet of Ministers that maybe this can become a first PPP project of Latvian roads. In this particular slide, I have to come back to the autumn 2014. So actually, just newly appointed European Commissioner, Mr. Juncker, has started the debate on the famous Juncker plan. These days, EFCIS wasn't known as we know it today. 2015, the Latvian presidency came, and the decision was that let's wait what will come out of Juncker's plan, and maybe we can jump into this trainership or whatever you call. Already in 2014, first economical calculations were made. And on December, first decision of Cabinet of Ministers were made, actually stating that Latvian state roads has to consult EIB on possibility to attract Juncker's plans, investments. In the summer 2015, I was invited to come to the office because this project wasn't moving at all for half a year. Actually, we are sitting in an office and there was a blank of paper in front of us and we didn't know how to start. First, what we did, we came to Luxembourg to start negotiations with EIB, as Cabinet of Ministers told us that we had to go back with something from EIB. And honestly, this was a turning point for the project, as in EIB, we met the persons who understand the process and who were ready and eager to consult us and to help us. And Giedrius is one of them, actually, who encouraged us that we can do it. We don't have to invent a wheel. Still remember his words, don't try to invent a wheel. Your project is nothing extraordinary. It's simple road construction project. Take an existing example. And first, what he said, go to Finland and ask your Finnish colleagues or colleagues from Finnish road administration how they are moving on with their new PPP projects. And actually, at the same day, I was introduced with the people from PPP Expertise Center, who were also eager and ready to help us and to help us as a public body, as a public sector, and to give an advance and further guidance how to move forward. And actually, this was the real boost of the project. So already December 2015, we received the initial letter from EIB that they are eager and ready, non-binding letter. They are eager and ready to finance this project. Of course, up to later appraisal results and so on and so on. And at that point, we had enough information to go to Cabinet of Ministers and to get a final decision or final green light for the project. As since first economical calculations already, the year was gone, so we renewed our financial economical calculations, and on 10th of March 2016, we went to Cabinet of Ministers and we've got a green light of the project. So still the decree of Cabinet of Ministers says that Ministry of Transport can start a public procedure on both actually on getting land. So the land acquisition risk belongs to public partners, to start environmental impact assessment procedures, to start acquire consultants, and to run PPP procurement procedure later on. Yes, already June 2016, we've got the official confirmation from PPP Expertise Center of EIB that they are consulting us, and we started to organize several parallel processes. First was land acquisition. More than 160 land plots had to be acquired by state. We started the process on contracting our financial and legal consultants, and we started environmental impact assessment procedure. And with the help of PPP Expertise Center experts, already October 2016, we launched the tender for our advisors. February 2017, we've got a contract with our consultants. Spring 2017, we've got a mission from EIB, official mission, appraisal mission, to evaluate the project. Honestly, the economical calculations which are made for the government were different from the ones which are necessary for EIB. These were much more deeper. We went through all the traffic densities, where the traffic comes from, where it goes, how big is the number of heavy vehicles, passenger cars, where does they go, and so on and so on. And July 2017, we've got an official approval of EIB boards of director on ability to finance this project. Starting from 2017 till May 2018, we developed a PPP contract. Actually, PPP contract is the most complicated part of the puzzle. We took the contract from Belgian Road Administration, as our consultants were Deloitte Latvia and Deloitte Belgium. So we took their contract, and then we started to adapt the contract to Latvian laws and to our needs, and to work on financial model, payment mechanism, and all these quite detailed discussions and work has done. In parallel, already summer 2017, we made the first open discussion with potential bidders. So first open days were organized just to test what the readiness is from private sector to do something like this. What is important actually to mention here, that initially our risk division was planned as shared risks, but during decision making in Cabinet of Ministers, our government, strongly suggested by Ministry of Finance, insists that risks has to be divided in a way that Eurostat can say that these risks are, that can say that the project is off-balance project. Summer last year, we've got an official ex-ante approval from Eurostat that risks in a contract are divided in a way that this is the off-balance sheet project. So the November last year, we finalized our procurement documentation, and December last year we launched a tender. So what is the project? What is the procurement? Not the technical data, but financial data. So the PPP project, type of the project is DBFMA, which is design, build, finance, and maintain. So the duration is 23 years, 3 years for implementation, and then 20 for maintenance. Actually, this is the first project in Latvia where we are looking to the project from the perspective of the life cycle of the project. Type of payment is availability payment, public partner, Ministry of Transport and Latvian State Roads acting on behalf of Ministry of Transport, and balance sheet treatment, as mentioned before, of balance sheet project. Type of procurement is a procedure with negotiations, which consists actually of 2 main phases, but on a second there are 2 sub stages, if I may say so. So first stage is and was qualification, where all the candidates which met minimum qualification criteria are given possibility to give a first stage proposal. And in award stage, after the initial proposal, we were eager to select no more than 3 bids further on for negotiations, and then the ones who are selected for negotiations later on submit their BAFO bids. Yes, on 13th or on 30th of January, we received 5 applications. All of 5 applications were made by international consortiums consisting of international players with the expertise on PPP and financing and structuring PPPs, and the companies, local and regional, specialized on construction. 4 out of these 5 tenders were according criteria and were invited to submit their first bids. And on August this year, we received 2 bids. So we are going to have negotiations with bidders. Now bids are evaluated. We do really hope that next week we'll announce the results, and we'll start negotiations already October. So negotiations October, December this year. Then BAFO bid January 2020, and we are planning to announce a winner March, April 2020. Then there is a time for financiers to evaluate the winning bidder, to make a due diligence of this bidder, and then signing of PPP contract. We hope August next year. So the lessons learned. Is it easy? No. Is it quick or fast? No. Is it doable? Yes. And as mentioned before, if we are speaking about PPPs and potential interest of international players to coming in and to make their bids, because the preparation of the bid is extremely expensive. The due diligence of Latvian market, legal due diligence of Latvian market is expensive also by bidders. So this is not the only one project we are going to launch. The next one is Riga bypass. So if for the first project, I can say that mainly Lithuanians will gain quicker access to Riga than for this project. I believe all of you who are going from Tallinn to Vilnius and further on to Europe knows that Riga bypass is also one of the bottlenecks, and we are going to rebuild this project, this part of the road as a four lanes road. So possible launching of tender 2023, 2026, I would say. And then the next one is also Iecava and Bauska bypass towards Lithuania to move all traffic outside of cities. Yes, this is a Riga bypass. Thank you. Green light is already for me. Thank you.
Thank you. I think we have time for one question as well. We had on slide on many, so maybe you can see that on the screen as well. And I think that there are like a couple of questions to you, and maybe one question I think here was that if you could do it from the start again, like what would you do differently?
First of all, I would acquire not just legal and financial advisors, but also technical. Because when I came to the office, there were hundreds of engineers in-house. So we started a discussion, and it was quite impossible to explain to government that why we need technical advisors. But later on, when we worked on a financial model and payment mechanism, when all the technical topics had to be reversed into financial figures. For example, if snow is not taken off, what penalty have to be applied? If something is with traffic lights and so on and so on and so on and so on. All these technical and financial connections were making problems for us.
Okay, thank you. So thank you, Martin. Unfortunately, no time for other questions, but during the lunch break, please grab Martin and ask him directly. And I think this was a good example, firstly, about not reinventing the wheel,